All right, so we are now recording. All right, well, first off, hey, welcome to the University of Fairfax. Just to introduce myself, my name is Dr. Scott Mensch. My doctorate's in IT. I'm trying to think when I graduated, 2006, 2007. I've been teaching online now for 17 years. I pretty much broke into online learning when it first started. And I'm the Chief Academic Officer here at UoF. I was hoping that our academic dean, who you're going to be meeting at some point, his name is Javed Syed, and Javed is actually in his defense phase right now. So we're hoping to be calling him Dr. Syed here real shortly. I'm hoping by maybe the end of November, the middle of November, before Thanksgiving. But he may be jumping in here in a little bit. I know he had quite a drive today to get home. So if he does join us, I'll let him introduce himself if I see him jump in the room here. All right, first off, I want to talk a little bit about the program, how it's set up, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into a course room that should be set up for you. It's probably not one of yours, but it's one that the instructors set up. Right now, faculty are in the stage of setting their classes up because when you guys get access on Friday, we want them to look correct and everything to be accurate. Now, the terms are going to be 8 weeks long, and they're broken into 4 modules. And you're going to see whenever I show you on the real live course page how these are divvied up and how we divide the work up and how everything's scheduled for you. And 2 weeks are going to be in each module. So, simple math, 4 times 2 is going to take up your 8-week session. Now, those 2 weeks, at least one discussion topic each week. Your discussions are due by Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday night. Now, that's going to be your main discussion post. So every week when you go into your discussion, you're going to see a main discussion question. By Wednesday, you have to reply back to that. Make sure you're using valid research. Make sure you're applying practical examples, and take advantage of this. Whenever I have to go in and review courses, I'm going to be honest, it's like every time's professional development. Okay, we have some heavy hitters teaching here, and we have some great students as well. So take advantage and use each other to gain information in those discussion rooms. You're also going to have one sync session assignment. And during the sync session, what's going to happen is you're going to have your sync session assignment and the deliverable is going to go along with it. Once a week, or I should say once a module, you're going to meet as a class. And your faculty, they're going to hold these either on Thursday night, Friday night, or sometime on Saturday. And whenever we get into the class, I'm going to show you. As soon as you have access, you'll be able to see when those sync sessions are. And the same type of conflicts at all with time, work, make sure you get a hold of your faculty member very first thing. We just put a policy into place where the sync sessions are not going to be occurring until, let me think about this. I think it's about 9 p.m. I think it's going to be the earliest if they do it on Thursday or Friday. Saturday could be any time, because if I have learners out on the West Coast, we want to make sure that they can make it during working hours as well. But we'll look at that whenever we get to here in a few minutes. You're going to have resources in there, PowerPoints, videos, websites. There's also other links I'm going to show you where your faculty members are going to be putting useful information you may want to pull upon. Keys to success whenever you're getting into the classroom. Participate in all discussions and sync sessions. So that main post is going to be due by Wednesday night. Then you have to have 2 detailed comments to other learners, and that's going to be due in by the end of the week on Sunday. And I always tell my students, if I can take your comment and apply it to anybody's work, it's not detailed enough. So, and then David, I'm just going to use you for example because I'm looking right at you now. If I was a student and I read Dave's post, I wouldn't say, hey, David, you had some really good points. I like what you said. Good job. Way to go. If I was an instructor, I would give myself a 0 for that because I could apply that to anybody's work. Okay. What I should have been doing is said, hey, David, that article you put on cell phone security, you nailed it, because employees are letting their employers bring in BYOD devices and blah, 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 blah. And then I go into detail. That's what we're looking for in those discussion comments. Be aware of the due dates and keep up with all the coursework. And I always joke with people, and even though I'm a professor at a university as well, I always tell them, everyone has a cell phone. What I would recommend doing, very first day, your faculty members can have a calendar out there. plug those dates, reminders, so they go off. All right. Make sure you're checking your emails regularly. Now, with me, I mean, my email's synced up right to my phone, but at least try getting there once a day. Try getting your classrooms, look at the announcement page, see if your faculty members putting anything new out there for you. That technical number right there, there's going to be a number for tech support. I'm going to show it to you here in a second. I would highly advise that you write it down and put it as a contact in your cell phone. So if you ever hit a point where you can't get into the course room and you need to get a hold of tech support, you'll always have that number in your cell phone. Content, if there's any content issues, contact your faculty member. Okay, so if there's anything with the platform, you can't upload an assignment, those type of things, don't get a hold of your instructor, because all your instructor is going to do is say contact tech support, because they don't have the administrative rights to help you. And what I want to do is I want to make sure you get the fastest resolution to any problems when they occur. And if there's anything procedural, make sure you contact student services. And again, I'm going to show you where we house all this information at, and it's going to be in all of your classrooms. All right. Any questions from me at all on the course structure? And like I said, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take you into a live course that's going to be rolling next week so you can see what it looks like. If there's any questions, you can just go ahead and unmute your audio and ask.
So are you going to be the instructor of the courses that we signed up, or you're just giving us general instructions?
No, you may have logged in a couple minutes late. I'm actually the Chief Academic Officer here at the school. So I have two deans working underneath me. We have a Dean of Academics and then a Dean of Research. It would be a complete conflict of interest for me to ever teach. So no, I won't be teaching any courses at all. But again, it's just a hierarchical thing. You go your instructor first, Dean next, and then any issues after that would come onto my plate.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Who was that?
Ishmael.
Oh, okay, Ishmael. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this screen here. And can everyone see the announcement page here? Okay, I see David nodding, so I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what you're going to see. Whenever you get into your class, you're going to see this course schedule waiting for you. And those here, we have Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and Module 4. And then we have the weeks broken up, because as we talked about before, there's going to be 2 weeks in each module. The length of time for each week is then right beside it. There's a course preview. That's going to give you a breakdown of what you're going to be covering in that week. And I know it's a little bit small here. Let me see if there's... Is that helping a little bit on your end?
More.
How's that? Any better?
It's okay.
It's okay? All right. So this is a course that Dr. Kapoor is teaching, and he has everything laid out. Notice the sync sessions here. Like the sync session is going to be on 11/5/16, and that should either be on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Let me check real quick. I think that's a Saturday. Yeah, it's a Saturday. So he's going to be holding his on Saturdays. And all that information is going to be in here. Whenever you go to the sync session right here, you click on the tab. This can be a little bit confusing for new learners. You may see multiple sync session rooms, because every time someone with administrator privileges is added into Blackboard, it automatically gives them a sync session room. So he has one, and then whenever I had to give myself access, it makes another one for me. But somewhere like for this class at least, he's going to leave an announcement up here, or he should have, unless he may still be building this course. Let's see here. Yeah, he's probably still in the process of building this class, because he doesn't have to have it done until tomorrow night. But somewhere in here, they're going to give you the exact sync session wording of the one you should be in whenever they meet. They're going to be giving you the tech support number, which is right here. It's 1-888-980-9151. That's the one I told you. Make sure you put that in your cell phones if you ever need it. Also, if we go under the faculty tab, there's the faculty content info. You're going to find his email address, his phone number, and then his office time. So he's having his office time on Mondays at 11 a.m. Or if you have to schedule it, just go hold him via email. If you have questions for your instructor, there's an Ask Your Instructor tab here. You can ask questions. And then finally, if you want to email them directly from inside the course room, you can just send them an email there as well. But what is an important area here are these announcements. Always when you check in, look to see if there's any late postings up there, because any relevant information your instructors are going to be putting there. And you can expect your instructors to be posting probably 3 times a week or more. They're going to be putting things up there. So this landing page here, it really gets you off the ground, okay? It lets you know how the course is going to be laid out. It gives you the dates. And also, where's it at here? Should be the time. Yeah, there's the time. Sync sessions. He's having his, like this one here is at 7 p.m. Looks like he's keeping 7 p.m. for all of them, for his sync session times. If I come over here under the course overview, and again, I'm looking at this as a student would be looking at, because you're going to have this exact same view. You can click on the syllabus. It's going to open a Microsoft Word doc. All right. And then this is going to go into more detail than what the course schedule gave you. You're going to see exactly what the course consists of. And this, and I apologize, the shared screen here is really slowing my system down a little bit. I'm trying to make this bigger for you, because I know it's probably miniature on your side. There we go. All right, so here again, we have the same thing as on the faculty page. You're going to see his name, his email address, his contact number. Course objectives, I'm sure by this point you've seen a syllabus before, but just to go over it real quick, your course objectives, your goals, your course deliverables, grading plans. This is, when I was a student, I always remember this is the first thing I wanted to see, how the grades are going to be divvied up. So the weights and percentages, everything is going to be on here as well. Any textbook information that you're going to need is going to be listed here. And then he has his instructor availability policy. His LMS platform, he talks about a little bit. And then the required work that you should be putting in each week, they break it down there for you as well. And that's not going anywhere. Anytime you need that syllabus, you can either download or just refer back to this tab under the course overview. All right, the course schedule is in here as well. That's the same schedule that we saw on the announcement board. But I had the faculty put it in here as well. That way, if you want to print it out, you don't have to copy and paste it off the announcement board. All right, so the first day of class, if you want to come in here, print this out, tape it beside your computer desk, or take a picture with your cell phone, whatever you want to do with it. It's a lot easier for you to print it out and take it with you. But you're going to notice here, it's in the exact same format as what we saw earlier. Some tips for participating in discussion boards. Using SafeAssign, this is to verify yourself for the classroom. You're going to want to get in here the first day and read the SafeAssign policy. How to access the sync sessions. He has all that information in there as well. And then again, he put this in a couple different places. He has his contact and bios in here as well. If we click on the assignment criteria, there we go. He has his course expectations, and some of this is repetitive just because he wants you to be able to see it. The grading rubrics used in the class, the philosophy. Again, this is all stuff as soon as you get in on the first day, you're going to want to check this information out. The course modules. So once you read all the policies under the course overview and the assignment criteria, this is where you can really start getting in and seeing what's going on. So if we get into Module 1, which is weeks 1 and 2, all right, we have our Module 1 discussion, Module 1 assignments. if I just go into discussion, you can see what the question is here for the week. There's our 2 questions, okay? If I click on the first one there, role of cybersecurity governance in a security program. If you're the first person in for the week and you want to get the ball rolling, all you got to do is click on the create thread. You're going to give it a subject line, and you can do it any way you want to do it. I know whenever I was doing my doctorate degree and I had to do anything online like this, I like to do it in Microsoft Word, just because I like the spell check feature in Microsoft Word a lot better. And then you can copy and paste it right in here. But again, if it's easier for you to type in here, whatever works for you better. I just know for me, I like doing it so I could proof and spell check my work a little bit easier. And then once you have it all done, all you gotta do is click on the submit button, and it's gone, it's out there. Same thing, whenever you start seeing this being populated, and if I was reading Ishmael's work, for example, and I wanted to comment to him, you'll see an option. Once you open up his work, there'll be a reply button there. So all you have to do is click on reply, and then it's the same format. Let me back out here a little bit. And then all the module assignments are in here as well. Now when you do the sync session assignments, you're going to submit the assignment, and your faculty members are going to have the chance to look at it. And when you go into the sync session, it's not going to be a lecture. It's basically a period for you to explain about your research, what you found that week, and it's almost like a little mini defense of your work. You're kind of explaining what you did, why you did it, and you're going to be getting feedback from other learners as well as your faculty members during those live sessions. So whenever you go into that sync session, be prepared to defend your work and talk about, justify it, rationalize it, because it's not going to be a straight lecture. You're actually going to be on the clock and I guess on the hot seat per se to explain what you did and why you did it. Okay, I don't want to keep us here too long tonight. Sorry, 7:20. Let's go to UoF resources. This is a great thing that we add to the course room. Now, when you go to bibliography, any important links that your faculty member put out there for you that he thinks is going to help you, he's going to put out here, all right? It's like this one here, and they're always going to relate to the class. Like this one here is Legal Systems and Ethics and Information Security. And if I click on that, he has a white paper out there. So your faculty are going to be putting stuff in here. It's not required for the course, but any additional resources they think are going to be useful to you, we haven't put them out here for you. So you may want to look in that area too to see just what's going on and what is relevant and how maybe you can apply it to some of your research. The UoF library, there's a hot link right to it. If you have any questions, Eric right here, he's the lead librarian. Eric's awesome, by the way. I mean, if I have questions, Eric gets back to me really quickly. And his email address is there as well. There's your doc sharing for any files are going to be shared with you. And see, he's still in the process of cleaning his class up here. You won't see these duplicate areas once he's done with it. Let's go back a page. That was the resources. Okay, we talked about discussions. You can also get the discussions right from here as well. All right, and there you're going to see there's an ask your instructor. So if you have any questions for your instructor, this is just an open area if you want to have dialogue with other students in the class. First week of class, you see all these duplicates. Like I said, these will be cleaned up once it runs. But introduction, you want to say who you are, what you do, where you're from, hobbies, whatnot. You can put in the intro. And then once you hit your week 1 discussion, this is another area where you can hit it from. And like I said, right now you can see all these duplications. These will be gone once he has it all set up here by tomorrow. There's one more thing I was looking for in the UoF resources. I must have, the Student Information Center. This is a biggie right here. The Student Information Center, this is a landing page that I made when I first came on board. It's a one-stop shop for anything that you may need administratively. All right. So if you go into documents, the student handbook is here, as is if you're in the dissertation. The DIA handbook is here as well for doctoral students. Under the resources tab, academic calendars here, Blackboard support, the catalog, financial aid information, direct link to the library, the FAQ section, another section about tuition and fees. So if you ever have these type of questions, all right, this is a great place and you're probably going to be able to find the answer to it. And all you got to do is click on one of these and it's going to redirect you to wherever you're trying to get to. There's a couple more things on here I wanted to show you. Online service, textbooks, tips for success. This is a big one. And again, this is under the resources. And I would highly advise everyone, if you haven't been in school for a while or if you're a new online learner, to come in here and look at this area. And I actually put this up whenever I started because, like you, I worked full-time. I consulted on the side, had kids trying to juggle 15 balls and plus go to school at the same time. Trust me, we've all been there. It's not easy. So some things that work for me, I put on this page right here. All right, setting time aside, having a quiet area, making a good schedule. I mean, I'm goofy, and I always joke. I say I'm OCD because, I mean, literally, I'm getting pulled in 100 different directions. Now, I have an Excel spreadsheet, and at the beginning of every week, I put my schedule on there. And stuff gets added to it every week, and it's probably about that deep right now. I'm probably down like 18 rows, I think, every day of the week. But it works for me. It may not work for you. Find a system that works for you. All right. And again, some basic computer skills, which I'm not too worried about with this group. Creating a calendar, like I talked about before, it works for me. I put everything in my cell phone. All right. That's my reminder. I always joke. I said, if I lose my cell phone, I may not get out of the parking lot at work sometimes. Having a private space to study, get to know your fellow classmates, all right? Use your resources here. Use your classmates to gain extra knowledge. And other things we talked about before, like checking your email, saving your discussions and assignments regularly. Something I do, and I don't know if anybody else does it, if I'm working on a paper, once I have like a rough draft or a version and I'm done with that paper, I email it to myself. Okay, that's my backup. It's not going to go away. That way, if your computer, not if, when your computer crashes or when anything happens, you always have a good version. You're not starting from scratch again. Back your stuff up. Keep it somewhere. I get this question a lot from students because, let's face it, we're all professionals. We're all working adults. We have to travel. We get called out of town. You cannot work ahead on the discussion boards. It has to be done in that assigned week. But what you can do is you can go ahead and see what's going on for that week. You can type it out, put it in a Word document, email it to yourself, and if you're out for work, all you got to do is copy and paste it in. All right? So you can't technically work ahead, but you can bend the rules a little bit to your advantage. And then asking questions. All right? We have this resource page because we're here to answer questions. All right? If you don't get answers, contact me and I'll make sure you get an answer. And I may not always know the answer, but I will find out the answer for you. And then we have some other options here for support as well. And again, how I got to that, now I got to think about how I got to it. UoF resources. So you have the university resources page and then the student information center. It's right underneath the bibliography. And then, of course, I can't look at this now, but whenever you want to see your grades, you'd go into the My Grades tool. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, when you get in there that first day, like I said, check everything out. Try lay it out in the most simplistic way so everything kind of flows and everything's in rhythm and it makes some type of logical sense when you're going through it. So I'm going to open up here for questions again that may be out there because I see we have a whole bunch of other people that joined us.
Um, Scott, I think you have been there and done everything, but what are some of the pitfalls for someone like me who's just starting? I mean, it's a 4-year, almost like 3.5 year long journey, and definitely there are some difficulties. What are some of those difficulties that we need to be careful about?
I'd probably say the most difficult one is finding time and a schedule that works for you. I can say without a doubt the most difficult class is going to be the first one, because that's when you're going to find out how you're going to have to find out what works for you, what system you're going to use. That is probably my best advice. Find a system that works for you. It may, like I said, I'm not going to tell you to do this or do that, because my system, I guarantee, is not going to work for most people. I'm still a little bit of a dinosaur the way I do things, but it works for me. Find something that works for you. And also, scheduling. Scheduling is gigantic. I would tell you every Sunday before you start the week off, plan out when you're going to get your work done. Don't sit there and not do anything all week long and then get to Sunday and try to cram it all in. And then people start pulling you in different directions that day and you can't get your stuff done. It's late. Plan accordingly. Pretty much the same way you do for your job. Be proactive. And I'm not saying proactive like try to bang everything out on Monday, but make it doable. That's another thing. I don't know if it's my background's in project management as well, and I always tell people that when you're on a project, make a realistic schedule. Don't make some crazy schedule that you know you can't meet your timelines. That help you at all?
Yes, it does.
But yeah, I can tell you without a doubt that first class. Trust me, don't jump ship. Once you get through that first one, and maybe even halfway through the second one, you're gonna notice it just starts to get addicting. Then, okay, once you got it down pat, then you just start rolling with it.
I have another question, but I don't want to sit and ask all of the questions.
No, go ahead. You got the mic. Go ahead.
As far as I know, this program is year-round, and we're working, and I have 2 kids and everything else, and this program is year-round, and I was wondering, when can I give it a break? Or
that's the exact reason why I put that schedule out there, because I even do it now with work. Like my fiance and I, whenever we go on vacation, again, this isn't for everyone, we leave for Christmas now, all right? Because that's the only week I know I don't have to work a lot. Okay, I mean, I work every day, but I know I'm not working a lot over those days. If we go back to that UoF resources, and that's the exact reason why I put this out here, because I always tried to plan my schedule around when I was a student, when we had time off. Let's see, where was it at? Academic calendar, here we go. So if I bring this up, right there's the course laid out, okay, the course schedule. So we're at 2016, and this thing, you can see we're already forecasting out how many years. We're casting out the whole way to 2019. So where are we at here? We're almost November. Where are we at? Okay, there's our new start right there, right? Course session begins. So you're going to see here we have off, I got to kind of look a little bit closer here. When does it end here? Course ends on December 24th. And then you're going to be off from the 24th until January 8th. So there you're going to catch a 2-week break. Somewhere up here, basically you're going to get 4 weeks off during the year. You get 2 over the holiday break at the end of December, and then I think there's one in April, if I remember right. Course session begins on May 7th. Somewhere in here, we're going to have another 2 weeks off. I just have to find it. Okay, this begins on the 5th, ends on April 29th. Here we go. This one ends on April 29th, and the new one doesn't start till May 7th. So you're going to catch another week there. And then somewhere else here, I want to say like around June or July maybe. Right here it is. Ends in August 26th, starts up September 3rd. All right, so those are going to be the 4 weeks off. And that's a chance to do a complete memory dump and go off the grid, rejuvenate, and get yourself ready. Did that help you out?
Yes, it did, indeed.
Okay. So yeah, if you're planning vacations, stuff like that, trips, I mean, it'd just be probably a little bit easier on you to be able to enjoy yourself while you're getting away. All right, any other questions out there at all?
I might have one.
Okay.
So you were talking about the sync sessions, and I'm just kind of curious because I'm new to online learning. What a respectable length to an online sync session research and reply would be?
Well, in that sync session, you're going to have an assignment that you're going to have to do for that week. So if I go into the course module, and again, this is just for this one course we'll look at. And we'll go and we'll just look at the first assignment for the sync session here. And there's a participation file that they have up there. And this is going to explain a little bit more. I haven't looked at this one in a while. This is going to start to address your question here. It talks about how to join, how to get in, the applet that's going to have to be downloaded, the program. So this is going to walk you through the how you're going to get into it. Let's see here. Module 1 assignment. Here's the sync session assignment and project deliverables. So sync session assignment 1, it says, tells you should allocate a minimum 4 hours to complete that activity. Let's see. And then this is going to directly answer that question for you. Develop a security policy or technical design plan for implementing a security control. What I would tell you to do to back up your work, at the level you're at now, you're not using websites anymore. Of course, you're never going to use blogs. I even tell my undergrad students, if you use Wikipedia, I'm going to start smashing my head off my desk. You want to go to the library and use peer-reviewed journals. All right, that's where you want to be getting your research from. When I say peer-reviewed, I used to publish 2 or 3 times a year. Just with life, I usually publish about every year and a half, an hour every year. But has anybody here ever published in a journal before? An academic journal? Well, when you do, it doesn't automatically get accepted. There's a review board that has to go through, kind of like whenever you defend your dissertation. And they're going to pick your study apart. And then they're going to tell you whether or not it's good enough to be in their journal. So whenever you go in the library and you're looking at those peer-reviewed journals, that has been accepted as fact by that community. Those are the type of resources you're going to be using whenever you're researching these subjects. All right, because you're going to see, basically you're going to see what you're hoping to become here, a researcher by the end of this phase. People that are doing this all the time for continual growth and for academic growth, they have to do this every so often. And you're going to find there's some really good studies, there's some really good material out there. That's the resources you're going to want to pull from. Did that help you at all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And really, when you get in here and you start looking at this, it's really defined, laid out pretty clearly. And here's the key thing too. If you're not sure, don't be shy. Ask your instructor. All right. I work with every one of these people. I think I hired 2 or 3 of them here just recently. They're here for you. They're a resource, so make sure you use them. Don't be afraid to contact them. As a teacher, I've been doing this now for 16, 17 years. I'll help anyone, before the fact, because it's easier to help somebody before the fact than after. If you come to me like on a Wednesday or Thursday and say, I don't understand this, we have plenty of time to get you on the right track. If you get a hold of me on a Sunday, I may not see your email till Monday. So make sure that if you have questions, get a hold of that faculty member. They're here for you, and they will help you. All right. Any other questions out there?
Lost sound.
What's that, David?
Lost audio for a few seconds.
Oh, did I cut out on you?
You were froze.
Oh, I was froze. Oh. Yeah, my connection, you know what, whenever you start sharing these screens, sometimes the system slows you down a little bit too. I'm going to go and start closing some of these windows out. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to stop the recording so I can start archiving it. If you have any questions later on, you can always